RS6, Rick.
Where we were back at where we filmed your RS6.
Yeah. So quiet locations. It's good.
Yeah. So we got some good news, or is it bad news? What do we call it?
Well, I reckon it's good news for me, and maybe bad news from other people's point of view. Like, 'cause I know they love the car and that, but and RS6s in general. But the good news is for me, is I am selling the car. It is going finally. For me, unfortunately, it's been a bit of a nightmare. Ownership. I'm sure other people have them and really enjoy them, but for me, it's been a bit problematic. I'm sure some people know already that I've had driveshafts snap and diffs snap. So yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare. Being on the back of a tow truck quite often. So maybe it's just bad luck, I don't know. But it didn't really, the car hasn't really met my expectations too much, and also my needs, because I did want to go for big power. I only bought it for the one reason of going for really big power. There's a couple of people in the world who have achieved really big power on the car, but it's not really sort of something that the UK's offering at the moment. So I could order parts from Germany, I could order parts from America, I could order parts from Russia, but then you've got to try and find someone over here to fit them and look after the car. And it was just turning out to be really difficult, actually, putting it all together. So,
as we said, it's like there's probably a bit more development needed with this car.
I think so. I mean, I tried to talk to a couple of people in Russia, but, you know, it sounds crazy, but one guy I was talking to just couldn't really speak English. One guy in America doesn't stick to his promises, naming no names. Bless him, he's a cool cat and that, but you've got to stick to your promises. And there was another guy in Germany who said, yeah, I'll do it for you, but I want 55 grand. So I just thought, do you know what? It's probably not happening with the RS6. As lovely as it is to drive, you literally feel like a king when you're driving it. You're like king of the road sort of thing. Like it's like an armchair you're sitting in rather than a sports seat. It's a brilliant experience from that point of view. And the four-wheel drive, obviously, I love compared to the M5. It's just so much better, the grip. But there's another car out there that's stolen my heart for sure. Like, after I drove it, I've actually thought about nothing else.
So you're buying a new car?
Buying a new car to replace this completely, and it's already got. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, I'll save this bit because I haven't actually got it on the driveway yet, although I have paid for it already. It's already got 4-figure horsepower already, so and it will go up from there.
6-figure money?
No, that's the nice thing. It's actually cheaper than this car. So I don't have to, I can actually save a bit maybe. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the find. They're very rare to find with this kind of level of spec. So
and we're going to collect that?
We're collecting it, me and you, Thursday. Yeah, fingers crossed that everything goes to plan, but yeah, we're going to collect it Thursday.
What is the issue? Like, why is it that these cars are not, because you've told me before these engines are good for like 1,000 to 1,100, 1,200.
Yeah, the engine's good, but there are cooling issues on the car. The main thing that certainly MRC reported back to me is that, you know, they've said that they're struggling with the cooling of the car. The charge cooler isn't big enough. The air intake temperatures are starting to melt the fins inside the charge cooler. There's all sorts of things. It's basically been built, but not been built to exceed too much of, you know, its standard power, basically. So, but then when you factor in that when I typed in the part number for instance, the diff or the drive shaft that I needed, if you type in that part number into Google, it brings back parts that are also fitted on, for instance, the Audi A8 3-litre diesel, the Audi SQ5, and you realise that they are using similar parts from many other Audis that they've got. And I personally feel that they really should have beefed up the parts on this car based on the fact that they've beefed up the engine. So, you know, on other cars, like the M5, for instance, the drive shaft was like as thick as my arm, and that's never going to snap, you know. And on this, they're not. So they're quite weak, and there are people out there who have snapped a few. I know one guy in particular on the channel, on my Instagram, sorry, he snapped a few diffs and drive shafts, and he's only running 750 horse. So when you think about trying to go to 1,000, you just think, well, what am I going to do? Like trying to get like carbon fibre drive shafts? no, I'm not going to go down that road. Like, and what about the diff? You're only ever going to be limited to what the diff can take, and I don't think that there's a stronger diff that you can buy for it. So suddenly you just think, actually, I'm going to give up and buy something else.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because the car has been out for a while now, but you would definitely say that there's more development needed, isn't there, in the UK anyway?
Yeah.
To extract easy power, basically. Yeah. Like, it's not easy, is it, to get the power?
I think these were brought out for 40-year-old something men who are experiencing like a midlife crisis. Do you know what I mean? And they're quite happy with, pretty much like me, but they're quite happy with like 600 horse, like performance edition or whatever. And it will do that all day long, fine, you know. And you're never going to stress it enough to warrant having that additional charge cooler or whatever. But all the horsepower nuts like me and a lot of the people who we're involved with, they all want more horsepower, and to be honest, it can't really do it unless you start spending some serious cash. Who's going to spend 55 grand getting it to 1,000 brake? You're never going to get that money back. Although, you know, the guy in Germany did drive it on the motorway and it looked like the most exciting thing ever. I get that, but
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Like,
buying the car again, basically.
Yeah, you're buying the car again almost. So, you know, from that point of view, it's been wonderful. I was going to keep this for quite a long time. But it's actually not even been a year. But when you go back and realise that the first day I got it, it broke down, and I broke it down in the garage for 3 months, that really put me off as well. Like the whole thing after that, and then I got it back, and exactly a week later it broke down again. Right. So look, I'm not talking about Audis in general. I'm saying with this one, I've had some bad luck basically, and that's really the reason why. You know, it all gets factored in. I know one guy who's got an RS7. I talk to him quite often, really nice guy. He's had no problems with his car whatsoever. And he's running more horsepower than me. So good luck to him. Fantastic. I'm glad that you really like that car. And it's not let you down, because he'll have completely different reports, you know. But then I've spoken to somebody else who's running an 800 odd horsepower RS6. Who's on his like 8th diff or something ridiculous. Like they've got like diff spare in the garage just in case. You know, you can't live your life like that. So that's basically what it is.
So the RS6 is gone. So is this the last day we're going to see this?
Yeah, this is actually the last day. It will be around. I'm dropping it off tomorrow to the dealer to be sold and cleaned and looked after. So I'm not going to go any further with it. I've disconnected the meth. It's sort of just a normal stage 2 now. Not fitted any of the air filters I said I was going to fit. So sorry to everybody who wanted to actually see what that was going to achieve. But I've got to be happy with it, and I'm not. So it's going.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
But the next car will be something else, literally.
And you bought that as well, and we're going to collect it.
Bought it, yes. yeah. So unless it gets struck by lightning between now and the day we pick it up, like it's coming. So.
Okay. While we're here, Nick, should we give everyone a little update on the TTRS situation?
Yeah, TTRS. We're getting there slowly but surely. I've got to say a massive thank you to AET Turbos who have supplied the Zona turbo on the car. Massive thank you to Bilstein and especially Aaron, who's helped us out working out a particularly bespoke suspension kit for the car, because it's going to be developing so much power. It needs a very special suspension kit, which Bilstein were able to produce for us. So thank you very much to them. Also, Aspiri wheels. They've put the lightweight wheels on the car. They're on now, and they're looking absolutely fantastic.
Same as your ones, Nick?
Basically exactly the same. Yeah, but we've left those in the bronze colour. My dad absolutely loves the bronze colour. Who knows? We might change the colour of them during this year, but at the moment we're focusing on other stuff. So
what is the situation then, Nick? So obviously, I know that you want to get it to 1,000 horsepower.
I hope to get a bit more out of it, actually. It ran 902 horsepower on the turbo it's got at the moment, and the turbo we've got going on it is much bigger. So also we're putting it on, well, fingers crossed, we're putting it on Andy at Storm Development's new dyno that is said to be coming, which is what he described as a 5-gas dyno, which is very, very advanced. It actually helps you out and it tells you what it thinks that it needs to get that additional horsepower. It's got a very clever internal way of working out what's best to do.
So it knows what to fix?
Yeah, but it'll tell you what ignition advance you should put in it and all sorts of other things. Wow. I'm really at the edge of my knowledge with this, so if anyone who really knows what they're talking about is laughing, just do you know what I mean? I'm just doing my best, because Andy's basically a scientist, you know. Yeah. So we're waiting for it to go off. It's going to be going off to Andy literally within the next 2 weeks. It's going to be there at Andy's. He's going to put the new turbo on it. He's going to put the carbon brakes on that are in stock now, thanks to Killer Brakes for those. And all of the bits and bobs will be going on. He'll be dynoing it. I'll be calling you to go down and maybe shoot the dyno, because that's going to be quite exciting to see what it comes out at.
Yeah,
that's if it stays on the dyno. We hope it does. And then after that, we're going to be running it at VMAX on the 23rd of March. So that'll be its first run. My dad literally can't get to sleep at night. He's so excited about it. And we're all going. So I'm going to be going in my new car. My dad's going in his TT and my brother's going in his Ferrari. So,
and your dad's a little worried, isn't he, about your new car?
He is. He actually, funnily enough, people don't realise how much of a BHP nutter he is. I rang him and said, guess what I've bought? We were talking about horsepowers and all the rest of it, and he panicked and actually came over for a cup of tea and brought his calculator with him, and he's working out power to weight ratios whilst drinking coffee. And he sort of said, oh, thank God. Okay, so don't worry, like it's not going to be anywhere near as close to my car, sort of thing, because my new car still weighs quite a bit. Not as much as this, but it's a lot more than my dad's. So it's all about the power to weight.
It's going to be a much closer race between you both now.
Oh, anyway, a much closer race, yeah. But he'll still wipe the floor with me. We think that we would still be able to beat, because we've been in talks briefly on Instagram with ES Motors, the 911 experts, and they said they're bringing a 1200 horsepower 911 turbo, which again, I said to my dad, I think we're up against these people. They've said that they want to give us a go at VMAX. So he's worked his calculations out and he said, I think we've still got the edge over a 1200 horsepower 911 turbo, which is saying something really. This thing is going to frighten the living daylights out of us that day.
So is the bigger turbo going to be on for VMAX? Or?
Yes, that's what we're hoping. That's what we're praying, yeah. So there's a lot going on in the background the whole time. We basically put work into his project every day. One of the family members, mainly me, put work into his project every day, because these things don't just happen.
Yeah. For anyone complaining, because I'm getting a lot of messages. Well, not people ain't complaining, but I'm getting a lot of messages. I just repeat messages, to be fair. Like, when's the car going to be ready?
Me too.
So the update is we're going to be going
we're
to
on
VMAX.
Yeah, we're on it. Literally every single day we're on it. We're going to VMAX in March. We're going to be doing a dyno video. And then once we're happy with the way it runs and everything's built, we'll then be going into the main videos, like the review. Yeah. We'll be doing a reaction video, and we're actually going to, hopefully, fingers crossed, be racing against a Bugatti or some form of hypercar. We're not quite sure yet who wants to go up against us, but we're fortunate enough to know someone who's actually got a Bugatti Chiron, who we feel we've still got a better power to weight ratio than a Chiron. So it might be quite a nice video title to say, you know, Arthur races against the Bugatti Chiron and wins. We obviously want him to win, but that could be epic. So yeah, we're all going to hope that happens. But obviously, guys, things change the whole time, and I'm only to within the limits of what the car's capable of, what the tuners are capable of, and what my dad's wallet is capable of as well at the moment. He's only a pensioner, so there's only so much he can do, but we're all trying to chip in and help out the best we can right now. Okay. We're not rich at all, I can assure you of that. We're just all car crazy, basically.
All right, Nick, I think we're going to end the video there. So I suppose it's a goodbye to
the RS6. It's been fun. Loving the Quattro, but it's on its way to a new owner.
So we're going to be collecting your new car on Thursday?
Thursday.
Yes.
Can't wait.
So guys, make sure to tune back in. I'll get that video ASAP. And I think they're going to like this one, aren't they?
Yeah, I reckon. This one's going to be some pretty good content, actually. Yeah, it's going to be pretty epic.
All right, guys. See you later.